Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both. Welcome to the attic. It's VC's Pieces.
Okay, here we go.
If you're not ready,
If you're not ready, you best be getting to the ready. Here we are doing another short boy of an orphan.
2 weeks later for you, but it is
2 seconds later.
Less than 2 minutes later for us.
Less than 2 minutes, but more than 2 seconds.
Yes.
We are doing.
I can't believe we didn't time it. I'd like to tell them accurate.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. You like weird things. You might really enjoy that.
You're right. Welcome, dear listener. This is VC's Pieces Podcast at gmail.com. My name is not Katie because it's Tia.
And I'm Katie and not Tia. And here it is again for you. Can you hand me that fat orphan? It's the second in the mini-series. I guess if it were on ABC in primetime in the late 80s, it'd be the mini-series of Orphans.
Stop smashing that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this.
Crystal. Crystal's our next. Come on down.
Crystal.
It doesn't have the little mark. Crystal. Okay.
And it's also not Shrishro, which I liked.
Did you think it might have been?
It could have been.
It could have been.
I mean, I didn't know if I know it wasn't because I could read that it wasn't.
I can read.
But I'm saying I'm grateful that it's not Shrishro.
A funky, fun spelling. Yeah. We are again sans flap. There's no real flap. It is back sentences.
Back sentences of the anthology collection.
Crystal. Bright and gifted with a flair for science, she found loving new parents and a boyfriend in her new school. But a shocking tragedy could shatter her perfect world. It did. It do be.
That was a whirlwind.
That was one. I would like y'all to know I hand wrote notes very fast, and I cannot read my own handwriting sometimes. FYI.
Here, let's keep. You can see mine over here too.
Crystal, we know she's just a little over 11. And
wait, was that real? Little over 11?
Yeah, she was like, I was a little over 11 when I was. And then it goes.
And then she's okay. Yeah.
So our introduction to her is of being a little over 11 and helping in the admin office of the orphanage. And she notes, it was close to impossible for an orphan to learn about their past.
Yep.
My mother was too sick to keep Crystal. It was a very melodramatic scene. Obviously. The bottom stack of pages opened the darker doors of my past. Like, what? Like, torrid language. Like, the thing will happen, and then the thing will do the. You don't even need words. That's just, that's the rhythm.
So, Crystal was, helping out Mr. Whoosy What's
Yep.
what's
name? Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And she was borrowing her friend's watch, and she had taken it off for whatever reason and forgot it.
Fuck!
And forgot it at the in Mr. Whoosy What's administrator office.
But it was after hours.
So she went back in there and she was like, "Oh, I'll just go grab it." And then there's like a fake ray of light
illuminated,
shining on the keys
to the
and she's like,
files.
"Oh my god, these are the keys to the files in which I could find information." And so she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna do that." But it was interesting. She pulls out this file and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit on the floor with the door to the bathroom cracked open so I can just so the light isn't that obvious. Go in the bathroom and shut the door."
Maybe it was a very heavy file.
Go into the bathroom and shut the door. Then you're not squinting and no one's seeing light. Just saying.
Manic depressive teen mom institutionalized and impregnated by an attendant in this fantastic fucking passage. I realized that some degenerate out there was my father, unless I wanted to believe that my mother and this attendant had the most romantic and wonderful love affair between her drug therapies, cold baths, and electric shock treatments.
Yeah. Crystal is a fucking right ray of sunshine.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah. I like to think my mother named me Crystal. Oh, she definitely did. She was like, nobody knows who named me. Your teen mom named you Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't say this. If your name is Crystal, you tell me how old your mom was when she had you.
Oh my God.
You tell me how old your mom was. I'm sorry.
You can DM us or on our Pieces Pieces podcast Instagram page or email us as piecespodcast@gmail.com and tell Katie
if you're
shitty she's assuming your life is.
If your name is Crystal.
Hey, don't touch my iPad.
That's an iPad. Anyway, mom dead at 22.
Yeah, she committed suicide when she was 22. Very sad.
Nature nurture thought process. Did Crystal inherit her mom's mental health issues or her dad's evil ways?
I mean, that's a legit thing to get stuck in your head when you're like an orphan and don't know your parents. And just know that. Like, oof.
This was a prescient passage. With all those calls for help, the world seemed like a great big ocean with many people drowning and lifeguards whimsically choosing to help this one or that one. Naturally, the richer ones were always saved, or at least tossed a lifeline. Those like me were shoved into mental institutions, group foster homes, orphanages, and prisons. We were swept under the rug with so many others. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
And she...
Thanks for coming for that real rare needs, by the way.
It's surprising.
Yeah, right?
And she says that obviously no one wants to adopt her because of her history. Who knows that?
I don't think that they
do they provide the file?
Maybe she just assumed, like, especially at 11, like, she was like, oh, this must be why, because they... I mean, I'm sure they have to give them some background, but I don't know.
We fast-forwarded a few years unbeknownst to me.
Yeah, so she's around 14.
I was a little confused at this point. It's noted that she reads 2 or 3 grades above reading level.
Of course.
There's some type of balloon metaphor, and then I also noted, do you ever feel like a plastic bag blowing in the wind at the orphanage? Mrs. Mills gets fucked up by office work.
Yeah, just like...
she comes in looking like a work of art.
Mrs. Mills works at the orphanage, by the way. She's like a secretary or something.
She's their only other admin support. Yeah. And she comes in like a work of art and is a big old mess by the end of the day. She got toner fingies every day.
Blue or black. Yeah, that's what it says. Looking as well together as a work of classical art, not a stranger with blue hair at a place, her makeup perfect, her clothing clean and unwrinkled. But at the end of the day, her bangs were always dangling over her eyes. Her blouse usually had a smudge somewhere on it, maybe 2. Her lipstick had somehow spread onto a cheek, and she'd become a work of abstract art.
She gets fucked up by this paperwork. Like, Jesus.
Is she working at Hogwarts? These papers animated, just flying around the room, smacking her in the face. Like, what's happening? Hogwarts.
She, Crystal, because she's a ray of fucking sunshine, she's like, adoptive parents don't like feeling inferior to the child they adopt, so she needs to be helpless. She recounts some real dumb prospective parents, and notes that finishing sentences was hard for them, which was a fantastic zing.
And then, like, one of them was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she's like, I don't know, what do you want to be? And she was like, what do you mean? She's like, when you grow up. And she was like, oh, and then they left.
I love that whole thing.
Yeah, that's really funny.
So, that was great.
So then the Morrises show up.
Thelma and Carl.
Yep, and Thelma, late 20s, very curly light brown hair and hazel eyes that were as bright as innocent as a 6-year-old's.
Bright innocent.
And Carl, only a few inches taller, with thin dark brown hair and dull brown eyes.
Yep. Please tell me you know this.
He looked much older, but he was only in his early 30s. He had a soft, friendly smile that settled in his pudgy face like berries in cream.
What? What?
He was stout, his hands were small, but his fingers were thick. We were just talking about small hand, thick fingies when we did the live. We're talking about the tropes and like how people like describing body parts. I'm like, yeah, like having tiny hands but like huge thick fingers. Like that's a.
It's like a square, like a block of wood.
Yes,
thick fingies.
He is an accountant, and Carl's an accountant. Thelma doesn't do shit.
She's a paid housewife, and he gives her raises. Mm-hmm. There you go, progressive. Little tropage with Thelma. She says, nothing sad or unpleasant. If you don't think about the bad things, they all go away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've really learned a lot with my own mental health handling from this.
It's great.
Reading V.C. Anders books. I'm kidding.
Carl is an informed consumer, FYI. He can keep you from making a wrong decision. Like, this motherfucker calculated BTUs.
Yeah.
Which is like, you probably should do that.
I know, love that.
Great.
Very practical. Like a little bit of a drip, but like, seems nice. Like, he's not like a dick about being practical. He's just like, well, you know, here are the facts. And Thelma's like, oh, listen to him.
Isn't that great? He's calculated the BTUs. He got bunk sperm though, a whole bunkful.
They tried keeping his scrotum cool.
Take better aim, and then I can't with the cool scrot.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Also, if you've got the anthology, page 188, it's a full page. It's a full page about all of his sperm counts.
Yep.
Carl says, take better aim, I used to tell him, didn't I, Carl? What the fuck? Get it in my egg. What?
Put a scope on that thing.
Get one of them sniper scopes.
Yeah, sniper scope on the end of your head.
He says, this is the ride home from the orphanage.
They've known each other for like a half hour.
Thelma, you're embarrassing me, he said. Oh, fiddle-de-doo, we're a family. Mm-hmm. We can't be embarrassed. The simplicity and honesty with which she talked about the most intimate details of her life fascinated me. Anyway, she continued, Carl read up, blah, 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 cool sperm. And he says, you don't have to get into the nitty-gritty details. Oh, sure I do. Something honest and open. And then she's like, oh, where was I? Oh, your bunk sperm. Jesus. And then Carl says, you have trouble with so many other facts and statistics, Thelma. How come you don't forget this one? Love it. Perfect. Love it. Take better aim.
Thelma reads romance novels that don't exist in real life. She keeps like bringing up these romance novels and like...
And her stories.
I looked up a couple of them and I was like, oh, they're not all getting made up. And then she also watches soap operas.
They're gonna have a dinner, one that is calculated as of good value. You get a combo plate, salad, and bread. They I notated they had a carpeted garage.
Oh,
it was just there.
Maybe it was just like one of those like industrial kind of carpets or like.
So weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
She has a computer.
The house is small but cozy, and they bought Crystal a new computer that has the internet.
Very modern for a Vicky Indie book. A computer. And then I checked the copyright. 2000.
Oh, man. Look at that.
We're blasted into the modern times.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we're there now.
We're
wow.
here.
Oh, yeah. 98 when Butterfly came out.
Well, we're not.
They all came out in 98.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the anthology was 2000, so 98.
Fuck, Thelma's missing her stories.
Gotta go. So I just had a thought, like at the beginning, I said, Carl maybe seems a bit OCD though, and I wonder if he's going to decide that he can't handle having a child in the house, as the first story set a tone of families that not working out for the orphans. So I got a vibe that it was going to be like Carl being like, I don't know, too much. Crystal has some pretty sad thoughts about being an adopted child in a family. It's a note that I
have orphan sphere adapting.
Yeah, but just like the quote together, like, we won't know how to behave at the dinner table, how to behave in front of our other relatives, how to keep our rooms and spend our time. In short, we won't know how to please our new parents. For us, it would always be like an audition. We'd feel their eyes following us everywhere we went, hear their whispers, wonder what they really thought. Were they really happy they had taken us into their lives, or were they sorry and looking for a graceful way to give us back? I thought that was so sad.
By the way, Thelma quoted, "Welcome to our happy home." Key change. Carl is right about the body clock. You can't catch up on sleep. Just thought you all should know that.
Yep.
Carl, chubby, but pays attention to nutrition.
Yep. Yeah.
No exercise, though. Nobody's nerfed.
Carl has a regimented schedule of practical things.
Yes.
And Thelma has a regimented schedule of TV shows.
Yep. Thelma was like, oh, you want to see a movie? And he's like, is it a good value? The calculation of enjoyment of the movie. Thelma's regimented around her stories. And then...
Oh my god, we used regimented, both of us.
So they go on, there's this bit about how Thelma's like, we look at the sales flyer and we plan all of our meals. That's great. Do that.
Yeah.
One time they drove 20 miles or minutes. Was it 20 miles or minutes? To another store for canned peaches. But that's inefficient and negates any savings.
Well, I think it was because those are the ones Carl preferred, though.
Nah.
It was because of it.
I also noted that Thelma can't drive for shit. They go see Carl's father, Papa Morris, who is living the dream. He putters around, puttering, reading, socializing, hitting the bar. But he is struggling with hygiene and food stuff.
Apparently, he's got fingernails that are 2 years past when they should have been trimmed, is what it says.
Yeah, thick and yellow.
2 years past when they should have been trimmed. I do not think that was what he said. So, no.
No, yellow, thick, and 2 years past needing a trim.
Like, did you mean months needs? Because 2 years is you can't pick shit up at that point. He can't hold a beer. It's gonna knock shit off the table. It's gonna be like a cattail in the front of you.
Pa Morris gives the long looks to Crystal, who chats about inflation. Long looks! I was waiting for a molestado.
Well, he's a feisty old man.
Is he?
He was feisty, yeah. Because he was like, yeah.
Thelma's parents, much warmer.
Adorable. Immediately dote on Crystal.
Crystal is in advanced classes. Virtue.
Another perfect student.
Thelma is way too into her stories, but I like there's a shared look knowledge between Carl and Crystal. They're like, all right.
Like,
okay.
She's very upset that Grant, a character in her soap opera, was killed off in Days of the Sun.
Yes, there was a deep depression, and Crystal's like, I mean, that actor could be back in like another show, another capacity. I don't think of them as actors. He won't be back.
I definitely got like an Annie Wilkes vibe from her.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Big time.
Yep.
Because she was just like, no, they took him off the Cock and Duty show.
Very much. Crystal would prefer to read. There's a cool neighbor across the street.
A neighbor, Helga,
nosy,
comes by to introduce herself, and for some reason thinks people will think they're siblings because of their names. And
that didn't make a fucking sense.
Another one of these? What's up with that? Not everyone has to be related, Niederman. Was where I went with that. Like, what? She was like, Crystal and Helga, people will think we're sisters. Why? Why? This boy has the same color hair as me. We don't look a lot alike, but we could definitely be brother and sister. Why? What is going on?
Because you gotta have a whisper of incest.
I think it's because there's so far been zero.
So far, there's been zero incest.
No, zero siblings. Also.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Mm-hmm. So they're like brother.
Just toss it in. Just sprinkle it in.
Sprinkle.
Crystal. So they go for like a little walkies, but Crystal, it is notated, did not tell Thelma where she was going.
Because I think they're just going to be like real quick. She's like, I can be outside for a minute. That's fine.
So we are this far in, and this is the first mention we have of Crystal's thick glasses.
Oh, I think the first and only, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or any physical description?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
What does she... Yeah, what does she look like? Great.
I don't know.
She got thick glasses, question mark?
Not according to this...
on the pic.
According to this cover, no. Weird.
Yep. Helga likes TV and parties.
Yeah. They're like, let's go meet Bernie.
Enter pale Bernie with the scraggly red hair, full lips, and cleft chin.
Yep. He's very smart, and Helga's mom thinks that he makes bombs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he's very interested in Crystal upon learning that she is smort.
Smart. She's like, yeah, no, I don't like genetics. And so he's like, whoa. Page 216 of the anthology, Marshmallow Carpet.
Yep. Bernie's got money and a fax machine.
Yeah, he wants to get into genetics. He has a fax machine, but no CD player. She's like, let's listen to some tunes, says Helga.
He's like, on my fax machine.
Yes. It goes like this.
Remix. No movie posters. Only educational stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you wanna... Hey, you bitches wanna look at my embryo slides?
And Helga's like, no. And Crystal's like, yeah. I would. That sounds cool. I wanna look at the microscopes.
But, oh no, she stayed past dinner.
It was like 5 minutes or something, yeah. Oh yeah, but she got back in like...
Thelma was in a panic. So, due to her consumption of trash, she has a simple mind. Side note, we consume trash. We have complex minds.
Sure we do.
Maybe not by the end of this podcast.
You just gave us a lot of credit there, babe.
Thelma's soaps are gospel. She has some hysterical mother tropage. She clasps Crystal to her before bed because, like, you were gone and I didn't know where you were.
This happened, and like she says something like, "I'm just glad you're home." That's what the so and so mother said to so and so when she came back. I'm just glad you're home. She's like, "Thanks, okay,
thank you." She needs to reenact the soaps.
Yeah, Carl and Thelma do soap opera role play 60 times.
Kinky, but then pretend they didn't.
So
he scuttles off down the hall, waits a few minutes, and he's like, "Well, I'm coming up to bed. Are you sleeping?"
Hey, knock, knock, wife, are you in bed? Well, it started, like, in the hallway, and she, like, was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Marsha,"
or like, Kevin.
Whatever. No, that's my dad.
Sorry, I felt like that was it.
Friend.
Anyway.
French. Anyways, not a name. And then he was like, "Oh," and he did the lines, but then he, like, grabbed her boob too early, and she's like, "No, you're ruining it, you have to start over!"
Yeah,
boob touching didn't happen until I start crying.
They didn't there was no touching until the character started crying, and he was like, "Alright." And then they're like, "Reset." Oh my God. And back to one. What's her face? Crystal has those, like, Olivia-style thoughts, like, how can people do games like this? Girl, don't kink shame.
Yeah, don't kink shame.
School shopping for Carl is a serious project. And he says, a family is like a small enterprise. Cool. Describing their honeymoon, and they were like, "Well, you want to go?" And he was like, "If it's a good value for the dollar, that's where I want to be."
And then Crystal was like, "But yeah," because she was like
trying to get to know him a little.
Well, because Thelma was like, he even like planned our honeymoon based on like the best rates, our wedding and our honeymoon based on the best rates, and the Crystal was like, "But was it a place you even wanted to visit?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Any place that's cheap, I want to go."
Also, make your own death arrangements when you're alive. True.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, don't neglect your retirement. He says, yes. Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you, Carl. Thelma's parents get Crystal a real leather briefcase, which Crystal loves for 10th grade.
Yeah.
For her backpack.
Yeah.
That's weird. You can be weird. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, too. Like, what?
Also, no one appreciates Carl's financial planning, because he's like, "Well, I got your parents a real good prescription plan." Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't know, no one appreciates this man.
I appreciate
That's a lot of fucking work.
I like Carl.
I do. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I said I did too.
Great.
Okay.
Carl will drive Crystal to school. It will give them a chance to bond.
He's so cute.
Carl hates TV.
Oh. Yeah, in the car he just kind of...
like...
He's just like, "Oh my God, I was so relieved that you don't want to watch that trash. I really was kind of... Again, I was kind of hoping bringing you in here would make it so that my wife...
would fix my wife's mental health.
Would not watch TV so much. Is this when we learned, like, on the way to the first day of school, like...
Thelma went deep into the stories after the IVF and a miscarriage.
Yeah. He's just like, "Have a good day at school."
Have a good day at school. Fix this woman. Bye. Fix this woman's. Crystal is the hope that Thelma will snap out of it.
Snap out of it!
Crystal, about Carl, he sounds proud of my smarts.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like they had a great chance. They had a great chance, not to spoiler, they had a great chance of bonding. Everyone and everything, but she knows everyone and everything is numbers to Carl. So Carl's kind of one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. Crystal fears a dark foreboding when she sees Helga chatting away. Why?
I think maybe because she told Helga she was an orphan.
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, "Oh, no.
Now there's going to be... Yeah. Crystal, by the way, is very open about the adoption, bursting everyone's bubble instantly.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
"Oh, were you out with your parents?" And she was like, "Yes, my adoptive parents." It was fan-fucking-tastic.
Where'd you get that thing? Like, you don't have grandparents like those, but my adoptive mom's parents are my grandparents.
Thelma's parents.
Yeah.
You call her Thelma? Yes, she is my adoptive mother.
I think she calls her mom, but like she calls Carl, and they were like, "You don't call him Dad?" She's like, "No, not yet. I don't know." She asked me to call her mom, so I did. So I loved that too. She was like,
"Yeah." Instantly burst everyone's bubbles. I also notated here briefcase though. I couldn't let that go. There's an interesting assortment of new chums. Bernie is embarrassed that Crystal talks to him. And he's like, "Why are you talking to me?" He smiles at her. He smizes at her with his. He's like, on the bus when Crystal rejects Helga.
Oh, yeah.
He smiled with his eyes. If you don't know what smizing is, he smized at her.
Also, if you don't know what smizing is, just please make sure
Just
you watch
Google it.
America's Next Top Model. Just Google Tower Banks.
Yeah, so basically Helga's the catty teen girl trope.
It was just interesting because I don't feel like they set her up like that. She was just like a person who was like kind of had a different personality, and then all of a sudden it's just like she's like, she stayed at Bernie's house looking through my dress gown.
She looked at his embryos, if I can say that. But then Helga's like, she goes, I want to be friends though, and Crystal responds, why? We have nothing in common. When you think of something, let me know.
Love that.
Yeah. Thelma is a vacant TV head. Carl a little more interested. Bernie calls to share his heart slides, and she runs on over.
Yep. He's like, hey, I got some slides of ventricles.
A lot of organ cells this Bernie has.
And then she sees apparently his dad is a cardio surgeon, cardiovascular man.
Okay.
And his dad's colleagues know that Bernie is interested in the sciences, so they send him slides of weird shit.
Okay.
And he's also got like jars of formaldehyde.
He's got shit. He's got some shit.
Sounds like a cool room if you ask me.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said she's got some shit.
I didn't. I was just
great.
saying.
All right.
Oh my god.
Speaking of misunderstandings, she smiles and he takes it wrong. Because he's like, don't fucking laugh at me.
Oh yeah. What
Note, she smiled.
What'd she smile at?
I don't know, something that made her happy. And then he's like, oh, you're fucking laughing at me?
Oh no, it was because something about the heart, and she was like, no, like Thelma was just like, before I left, like, oh, she was wondering if we could see love under the microscope, and I just thought that just reminded me it was funny, like.
Yeah, and he was like, fuck off.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, and I also wrote, note, smiled, not laughed.
Yeah. He gives her a little kiss on the cheek, goodbye, and now she's in love with him.
Do you want to watch me eat?
Yeah,
You're the first girl that's been this easy to talk to. I mean, that's like, this is like a kind of semi-naturally budding relationship-ish.
Bud.
They talk about who did their math homework first.
Yeah, he's like, they want to do math homework? She's like, I already did my math homework. And he's like, I already did mine.
She's like, I finished it on the bus. And he's like, I finished it at school.
And she was like, why'd you ask? And he's like, I thought I'd help you. She's like, maybe I would have helped you.
Yeah.
Just measuring dicks.
Yes. What was it like at the orphanage? And she's like, that's all anyone wants to know. Bernie comes with the, I'm an orphan too. Come on, man. It's like, my parents are like so busy. I'm basically an orphan. Like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah, but I mean, teenagers are dramatic, you know?
I guess.
Especially like this moody nerd guy is probably like full high school, like wearing a fedora, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna get one of those like
neckbeard things.
He's gonna get like a faux leather jacket, you know, like you can tell it's fake from a while, and you're like,
it's plastic creaking.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, like that is a pleather duster that you're wearing, sir, in July.
Did you get that at the flea market?
At the Freiburg Fair. So that's you know, I'm kind of getting that milady sort of vibe from him.
She gets a smoocher, and she makes a fish out of water analogy.
I don't know, why wasn't her name Goldfish? Butterfly Goldfish.
I had never thought of myself as someone's potential lover. So, yeah, blossoming breasts are noted.
Yeah, she
goes home and she's like, ooh, she's like feeling her oats a little bit. She's like, oh, look at my titties.
Apparently her naked body was like telling her secrets.
Yeah.
Why can I scroll?
I don't know.
There.
Bernie's kiss awakened the sleeping beauty of sex.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, her naked body was like, hey girl, we're gonna go on some adventures.
Hey girl. The biological streams flowing inside will join and rush over every part of you. Okay. Thelma's mom is rushed to the ER.
Yep.
I guess it's better you're up. Were they gonna leave her a note?
Probably.
Because it was like a commotion, and she goes out, and then he's like, alright, I guess it's better that I tell you.
I think they would have left her, yeah.
But I feel like that's not really a note.
It seemed like it was in the middle of the night, though. Like, and what is she supposed to do? He's like, no, just go to bed, go to school, like, I don't know what to tell you.
My next note is Helga sucks and smirks a lot.
Oh yeah, she's a smirker.
And Ashley is whisper quiet. She's the whisper quiet model. Ashley is in the little. She's in the little group. She's a little scared, a little mousy, whispery.
Huge eyes, apparently.
She's all
giant.
She's all eyeball.
Just sockets. No skin, just eyeballs and a skull.
Bernie's mother is terrified of aging trope.
Yeah.
She had big whisper a tummy tuck. I also wrote a lot of stairs in the calf.
Yeah, because people were like, "Oh my god," because Bernie is the kid, the fedora wearing kid. Why is the new girl talking to him?
I just want to note for the reader, no one ever said he was wearing a fedora.
No, I know, but now that I'm thinking about it, because you're like, "That's dramatic," and I was like, "High school kids are dramatic," and I was like, "Actually, this high school kid drinks a lot of Mountain Dew."
You gotta stay up all night looking at them slides.
Actually, no, he doesn't. I was gonna say he's got like a sticky Xbox controller. He doesn't play Xbox.
He's got like a sticky microscope.
Probably drinks black coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no.
He's like Mandark from Dexter's Lab. That's who Bernie is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Crystal was called to the office.
Oh no.
Oh no. So yeah, she goes to get her books, and he was like, "Where are you going?" And she was like, "My grandma died."
The teacher, yeah. Well, she like walked
like,
up to him and she was like, "I'm sorry, I gotta go. My grandmother just died." And he was like, "Oh," which is the correct response for a teacher.
Grandpa needs to go to a home because there's no room with Carl and Thelma.
Yeah.
And Crystal now has the guilt because she's like, if I wasn't there, then he would be there.
But she brings that up to Carl, and he's just like, "No, dog, like." He needs more...
No, dog.
He needs more, like, help
like
than we'd be able to give him
stuff.
anyways. Like, please don't think that.
And Carl was like, I will find an affordable place that would have the amenities needed. So it's like... So, Thelma. It was like the electricity going off during one of her stories. Huh? And I believe Thelma says that her death wasn't in the script.
Yeah, and she was like, she stayed alive because she wanted to see you grow up. And Crystal's like, me? What? She's like, she always wanted a grandchild. I told Carl we should have gone earlier.
Yeah, it was weird. She's just like... So, Crystal's a little judgmental about Thelma's grieving, but checks herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she was like, why the fuck is Thelma just watching her stories? Mm-hmm. And then Thelma's like, I just kind of want to forget. I don't want to think about this right now. So Crystal like checks herself.
Yeah, she's like, actually, what do I know about this? No one I know has died. Like, it's probably fine.
Ashley, quiet eyeball Ashley. Her mom is kind of buds with Thelma, so Ashley and her mom come over with like, I'm sure a casserole of some type. They go up to Crystal's room, and she's not as smart as Crystal. And she's like, Dickens? What is Charles Dickens?
She was like, was the orphanage horrible? And she's like, it wasn't some sort of Dickensian thing. And she was like, what is that? And she's like, Charles Dickens. She's like, what is that? And she was like,
yeah,
Christmas Carol, Tale of Two Cities. And she was like, oh yeah, that guy.
According to Ashley, Helga says orphans lose their virginity faster.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what she says. Crystal stays home from school to be with Thelma, much to Carl's surprise. Thelma looks whack upon waking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just like kind of shuffles out in a robed sort of thing, just wearing Carl's slippers, just like shuffling about. Oh, the TV sound was off too when Crystal got home.
Okay.
Right, do you remember that?
Yeah.
When she first came home after finding out that her grandma had died, Thelma was just staring at the TV that was on, but the sound was off. And she was like, should I fucking tell her that the sound's not on? And then she's like, nah, I'm going to leave it. I think I'm just going to leave it.
Thelma, let's see. Crystal counsels Thelma to just face her problems. But Thelma just weeps to her soaps.
Yeah.
So
I feel like she's nice about it. She's like, so Mom, like, my therapist at the orphanage said that it's good to talk about stuff. You know? Yeah. Maybe you could try that as an alternative.
So
maybe.
Now, oh my god, we have a Menage 3 because Bernie and Ashley come to hang out. They're just hanging out.
Because Bernie had been acting weird after he gave her the smoocher on the cheek. Like, he was kind of avoiding her eyes, and she's like, is he mad at me? I don't get it.
So Bernie says funerals are unnecessary. And Ashley says you must respect the dead.
I kind of feel both ways, honestly.
I feel like the rituals we do for the dead, we don't do for them, we do for ourselves.
Yeah. And that's okay. And if he doesn't want to do that, like, that's okay. It's okay.
But from once do we get a kissing experiment has been birthed and formulated.
That was so...
Naughty girls need science too.
I don't even, like... It was just such a... It came out of nowhere.
It really... I think it was a bit about this, like, orphans are slutty kind of chat. And Crystal doing her Crystal thing where she, like... wants to just throw it back at someone and be like, well, then let's all kiss each other. Let's all be scientific about it.
It should be scientific.
You're not going to get pregnant.
I thought that was funny.
Because Ash is like, what? And Bernie's like, yes, we will chart our kisses. You will both kiss me, obviously.
See, you know what, though? I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, I was ready for it to be like, oh my god, some, like, sexploration going on, like... it's for science. Everyone has to kiss each other, but no. I was really disappointed.
It was too nice a day for a funeral. Yep. Yep, that's it. Carl's father is still a bit shitty. He bounces from their visit. By the way, Carl's brother was going to be a monk. We just get dribs and drabs of information.
Really random.
Another monkage.
Oh, yeah.
More monkages.
Monkages.
Can we get like a schmear of monkage?
Can I please do a monk schmear?
Venti drip with extra monkage.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, that was my friend's cat's. He calls him Monk. So I was like, ew, I don't want him to be in the coffee.
At one point, Crystal says, I wasn't family enough yet for Thelma. How much time has passed? She arrived mid to late summer, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Thelma's...
I think it was late July, because I think she was like, it was late July, but like, the
leaves were somehow turning.
There was like still like, there was like a whisper of a fall wind every once in a while.
It is late July right now, and it is 9,000 degrees out.
It is 9,000. It's not late July. It's July 24th. It's early late July.
Okay. So Thelma's father has a shrunken heart stroke 2 days later. Oh, he's shrunken. He's smaller. And he has a stroke. He just shrunks. He has a stroke 2 days later. Thelma won't visit him and can't face him getting old. We should all live in programs.
Yep. Sorry, but we can't.
So there we go. I'm sure that Carl has found the most valued assisted living facility. Ashley...
That's also nice. I don't think Carl would just be like, this is the cheapest one.
Oh, for sure. It would be the value.
He's a very thoughtful man.
Yes.
I don't know. I just want to put that out there. I don't know if we talked about that enough. That, like, it's not that he was just like a...
He's not a penny pincher.
Yeah. Like, he is, but he's not.
His value calculations, I'm sure, have, like, a qualitative...
Absolutely, yeah. He's not just going to be like, that's cheapest, we're going for that. He's just like, no. He's going to, like, factor in, like, how long will this last, though? Like, what are the returns?
The quality of care.
Yes.
Ashley, Bernie, and Crystal are a friend group now, due to the experiment, which hasn't happened yet.
I know, like, I expected it to happen in
immediately.
That room. But, like, instead of it immediately, the boy and the teen boy in the situation is like, all right, I'm gonna get some facts together. We're gonna meet at my house, and
I gotta run this shit. Bernie says family is a myth created by greeting card companies. You're smarter than that, Bernie.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Bernie. Like, you know about the genuses and species and genealogies. Family is literally a thing with the DNA and the mating. You're a science man.
I think that's what he's saying, like, that sort of family.
Not,
he's saying, like, the construct of, like, people need to live together and, like, share dinners and all that was, like, greeting card company, when families are, in fact, just, like, scientific, like, genes.
Another Bernie quote. We're all orphans, searching for something that's not there. Stop, Bernie.
Like,
Bernie.
An end to your weird
Stop it.
things that you're saying.
The experiment is on tonight.
Oh my god, guys.
According to Ashley, the kissing graph is gobbledygook.
Yeah. I mean, fair, because I feel like Niederman, tried to explain it, and then put what's her face in there, Ashley in there being like, I don't get it, because he couldn't explain it very well. I don't know what.
You're gonna record your heart rates,
1 to 10 something, but then how do you record your rate afterwards? Because the next person would, you don't have 2 blood pressure cuffs. It's gobbledygook.
I also wrote, I can't. Quick dry pecs or long wet ones.
So we gotta figure out what we like the better.
Why is Ashley so embarrassed and or flustered? She was into this. Because she's like, what? And they're like, well, it's kissing. We talked about the kissing. And she's like, what?
And then, Bernie's like, all right, you first. And she just, nopes the fuck out.
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Crystal was hoping for, more sexy and serious as opposed to clinical.
Yeah.
That's all. 1, Bernie locks the door. 2, tightly closes the blinds. And 3, says, as long as we keep this scientific, we'll be fine. Now, when you're aroused, blood pressure cuff, Velcro, and then Ashley runs out.
Yeah, because he's like, let's go. You want to go first? And they're she scrambles and they hear the front door slam. And he's like, guess she wasn't ready for this. And then Krista was like, oh, I see. I think you were trying to get her out of here. He's like, maybe. Maybe.
And he's like, this is just an experiment, not love. So
and she's like, cool.
Crystal has a remembery about a couple orphans locked in a torrid embrace.
Yeah.
And Crystal ran, but was perhaps running from liking it. She was just was I running from thoughts of sexiness and sexy thoughts and times?
No, but you skipped over.
Oh, what did I skip over?
A little bit. Well, because there was they do the one kissings, and then he walks her home, and he's like, I can't concentrate on my homework tonight, anyways. And then the next time she goes back, he's like, all right, let's do this, and
are we talking about the French kiss?
Yeah.
Okay,
that was the second. Wait,
okay.
No.
Because then I wrote, he is circling her before they tried
that was the
French
first
kiss.
time, yeah. Okay.
And then what did I say? He sounds like he is reporting from space. Is what
she said. It's I felt like he was just orbiting.
I could tell what Bernie had for dinner.
Yeah.
That's a descriptive phrase. We should continue as long as it stays scientific. At least he wants her home. Walks her home. Shoot, can I see your book? I wrote... Or you want to read page 300 301, Bernie's mom description?
Oh, yeah. I sure do.
300 to 301, we got Bernie's mom. Into the microphone, please.
He opened the door and we started out. We were almost to the door when we...
Started out?
We were almost to the door... What? To the door when we heard someone call from the living room. Oh, the daughter's bedroom. And
okay,
to the front
all right,
door.
there we go.
My mother, Bernie said under his breath. A very elegant-looking woman, dressed as if she was on her way to an important ball or just returning from one, came toward us. Her long, diamond-studded earrings swinging from her lobes. Her lobias. Her styled hair was nearly platinum, the strand so perfectly shaped, I wondered if she was wearing a wig.
That's a great compliment.
She was tall with an hourglass figure that seemed to be held together by wires and pins. When she stepped out of the shadows and drew closer, why is everyone lurking in a shadow?
Lurking!
I saw that her face was so free of wrinkles it looked like a mask. Her temples were stiff, pulling back on her eyes as if her skin had shrunk. Her nose was small, but the nostrils were a little too large. The puffiness in her lips made her smile seem painful. It was more of a grimace. Oh, this one. I love that. Fingers of her left hand full of rings, looked like a walking jewelry store with her diamond necklace, hairpin, and bracelets. I thought she might have taken a bath in expensive perfume. The scent arrived days before she did. That was so good. The sass.
Yep. FYI, so Bernie, they take the little graphs they made, because Bernie says that his mom searches his room. He left a discarded frog for her to find. So she's home and Carl's like, well, now everything can go back to normal. No more grievings.
Yep, and she's like, great, okay, is that how that works?
Bernie left, like, notes on his thing that was like, I like kissing this girl, so many. And
is it because she's pretty or because she's special?
So Crystal's like, that's his way of saying I love you. And I was like, oh, how very as you wish.
Wow, nice.
Ashley is still a little girl, I told myself. She really wants to be a part of the thing that they're doing. Because she's like, okay, so how was it?
Yeah, she's so cute.
Ashley invites Crystal over to dinner because now they're besties, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Crystal describes herself as hard. So she has like big hoop earring energy.
Ha hard in the street.
Yeah. Thelma and Carl tell her she has... Wait. Thelma and Carl can tell she has something on her mind. Just a test. She's like, oh, it's just a test. And then Carl seems to really respect Crystal. They're similar. Mm-hmm. Yes, because he's like, oh, you never got to worry about a test. You got to do your testings. We all love testing.
You should. People who aren't worried, they do bad. You got to be a little nervous so you'll do good.
And then school grades are a top consideration for Carl on their adoption checklist. And she was like, we don't want a dumb one.
She's like, so if I get C's, like, you don't know if I can adopt me? Okay.
She was like, so I would not have been adopted if I wasn't a good student. That's kind of shit.
Kind of shit.
Crystal's very gentle with Thelma and her shows, by the by. She's taping one to watch this weekend. She's like, all right, I'll watch a show with you.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I think that's very nice.
There's more experiments.
Yeah, the second experiment does not go as well as the first one.
Crystal was a tingling all day.
She was a tingling all day.
But Bernie gets too intense, too fast. Trope.
Yeah. Well, let's just say, too, when Bernie was talking, when he was breaking it all down about the scientificness, he was just like, burr, burr, burr. And if anyone feels uncomfortable, we'll stop immediately. And people have to be honest about how they feel. So...
And guess what? The exact opposite happens.
Yeah, it does. So he goes to give her the smoocher. I think they start with a Frenchie. And then, like, he's just, like, too close.
He gloms on.
Yeah, like, it just gets a little more aggressive. And she's like, ugh, like, feeling a little smothery, overwhelmed. And she's just like, hey, bud. And then he's like, what? I knew you weren't mature enough for this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing that we always go through.
She can't handle the adult stuff, like hiding your feelings in a faux experiment.
Yep.
That's the real grown-up stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the real grown-up stuff. That's basically it, is that he's into her and wants to smooch on her.
Yep, and she's into him too.
He created a whole experiment because he just couldn't. So that's grown-up style.
And, he gets butthurt and tells her to leave.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like... Because she's like, I'm sorry, I was just like, I just need a minute. And he was like, you know what, you need to get out.
You need to leave. You need to
get out. This is bullshit.
Bullshit.
And then, like, the next day at school, he's like, by her locker. And he's like, so, sorry, like, maybe we're going to do some of that stuff again. And she's like, nah.
Yeah, Crystal leaves crying, having thought something special had been between them. And at school, she's like, you know what, we should just proceed naturally.
Yeah.
We're not going to do any of this fakey experiment bullshit. Yep. We're just, if you want to be into me, be into me.
Crystal's got that real. She's got that real.
Bernie huffs off and doesn't reappear for lunch.
I know.
He didn't come sit with them.
Mad.
Crystal sasses Helga on the bus, and Ashley says, "You're not afraid of anyone, are you?" And she says, "Yes, myself." Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because she could possibly have a...
Oh, because she could have bad blood.
Because she could turn out to be Freddy Krueger. Because that's how he was made. Kind of. Only it was opposite. Yeah, his mom was the nurse.
Yeah.
And all of his dads were the mental patients.
Oh, yeah. Crystal...
you like that?
Crystal spends quality time with Thelma. They watch a little show together, and then...
she's like, I didn't study that long, I came home to be with Mom. And Thelma's like, you did? And I thought that was really cute.
So at Ashley's, Crystal realizes that all fams can be effed up. Because Ashley's dad is gone all the time.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Salesmaning. So, and she's like, it was definitely, like, weird.
Maybe an affair.
Right, and she was like, I guess Pobity's nerfed.
You really like to say that today.
I do, because it makes me... It's a trope saying for a trope book. Then it's like homework time, and then, oh no.
There's a phone call. And you hear...
Ashley's man.
What's her name? I forgot. Whatever. I hear Ashley's mom scream.
A terrible accident. Drunk driver trope, innocent death. So,
But they don't say anything. That she's just like, there's been an accident, Crystal. Do you know your uncle's number who you like haven't ever met? Can you go get his phone number? And she like just runs home, grabs the address book, the Rolodex, comes back, and is like, and she's like, yeah, hold on, I'm just gonna make a phone call. And so she's like 100 just eavesdropping outside the door because no one told her shit.
Yeah, she's like, I'll tell you soon.
And she's like, that's not soon enough for me. And we find out, that Carl and Thelma were killed by a drunken
driver. Crystal races home and Thelma's it up in front of the TV, ignoring the pounding on the door.
Well, yeah, when she comes home, she's just, like, she runs through the door and she's like, I'm home! And then just, like, yeah, just
I'm putting on the stories, Mom!
Yeah.
So finally, at the commercial, she goes to open the door, and she says, I could smell the child welfare agency on them.
Love that.
The man had an institutional smile.
What exactly that means, but it's kind of cool.
And then off to Lakewood House, Crystal dryly sasses the social workers on the drive.
Did you remember? I had to flip back because I was like, Lakewood House, hold on.
Well, I figured it. I mean,
I didn't figure until this one. And I was like, oh, it's all gonna connect.
Yes.
It's gonna do a Paul Thomas Anderson in Magnolia.
Ugh.
You don't like that
I
movie?
hate Paul Thomas Anderson.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Okay. I just want to say that it's really convenient that Thelma's mother, the only capable relative that could have taken her in, is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrinkly Louise. Oh, your roommate Janet. Let's go meet your roommate Janet.
Oh my god. I wonder if it's the Janet that we know.
Wooden-Faced Gordon has a tattoo.
Yeah, and he gives her a vibe. We have like a new weird vibe about him than before.
A new different weird vibe.
Well, yeah, because Janet was like, he seemed kind of gruff, and then this one there was like another layer where like
he was like chasing someone through the house.
Yeah, like he was like, you gotta do your work, and he was like, hi, gotta keep people doing their chores. Am I right?
He's got an animal look in his eyes.
Yeah, that like shooketh.
She is done do a shooketh.
Also, sorry, just to reel it back for a sec. Why did they make us think that like that Crystal was gonna like go full blown Thelma, and then like it just like nothing really comes of that? You know what I mean? Like it was just like I expected it to like
keep going.
Yeah, like she was gonna end up like Celine running herself into the wall with a wheelchair. Like they were gonna have to bring her somewhere, like the place that Laura went to. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be Lakewood House.
I know, but I didn't know until
it came.
Yes. Yeah. Anthologies aren't always connected, you know? Now I know they are.
Yeah.
Now I know everyone's... But now it's like, the next two books also aren't going to work out for whatever reason. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Little Janet's curled up in a tutu, eyes full of terror.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Gordon growls a lot. Notated by Crystal that Janet is shy as a butterfly.
No one thinks that.
That's not
no one thinks that about anyone.
That's not a turn of phrase.
That is not a turn of phrase.
How do you turn a phrase?
You grab by the shoulders.
Okay. Janet's smile is hungry for love. Crystal feels big sisterly towards her. Question mark? Immediately. And they hold hands and gaze at the twilight, sharing their stories.
Yeah, what? She's like, not unpleasantly. I was like, pleasantly surprised when she found her hand in mine.
Not unpleasantly, pleasantly.
Like,
can I put like a triple negative in there?
I'm just like wondering, like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing to just be like looking out the window with someone you've known for 2 minutes and then holding hands. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't read the room, but like I just feel like that's just like,
you know what? Next time you meet someone for the first time, sidle up next to them and just like gently, just like
only if we're both looking at stars.
You have to be looking at this. Can you look in opposite directions? Yes. You just can't look at each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, yeah. Yeah. I don't like what. Also, especially like Crystal seems like a little too like standoffish for, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but maybe now that we think that, we're like, oh, it is fucking magical, their connection, to break through Crystal's hardness.
Okay.
This magical butterfly
Plinko.
broke through the hardness.
Of the crystal. Whoa, she's hard like a crystal.
What are the other ones? Brook? Like a babbling brook?
And Raven.
Raven call. Like a...
Okay. Anyways,
these are quick boys. You should definitely get them and crank them out. Crank them off.
Don't do that. Actually, you know what? Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Just make sure that there's consensual.
Make sure...
Consension?
There's condensation.
Make sure that you're condensated. Make sure you're condensed.
On these condensations. Yeah, it's the Orphans Trology, Anthology, Mythology, Phrenology.
Ooh. We'll see.
We'll see. And next is going to be Brooke, and then after that Raven, and then the 5-boy, the old 5-booker is Runaways. Like that song.
I was like, oh wow, there really are 5 books, and I was like, no, it's like 3 books total, kind of, like as far as pages go.
Yeah,
but not stories. I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know.
The tone of these two were different.
It was definitely wild because again, they're so short,
not fleshed out, so you're not really sure like what's gonna be like an observation and what's just not like.
It's that feeling you get of like when you look back on a book and you go, well, that didn't go anywhere. Everything goes nowhere.
Kind yes and no. Yeah. It goes everywhere and nowhere.
It is extra and less.
Yes.
Because you gotta dial it back. You gotta dial it up to really get all the feelings out, ring those feelings out. So you gotta crank that up to 100, but you need to make it happen quick. So you gotta take everything else out. Yep.
But definitely make sure there's time for a tingle.
Oh my god.
And I think with that that advice.
Yeah. Keep tingle. Yeah. Keep a tingle time in your calendar.
Yeah. Always keep time for a tingle. And we'll be back.
And then we'll be back with more orphans, young ones.
Goodbye, dear listening. Thanks for listening to Visa's Pieces podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music is Dust in My Attic by Broke MC, used under a Creative Commons license.
Email us at vcspiecespodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts or comments.
You can also follow us on Instagram. We are at Visa's Pieces Podcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, manifest a mommy, daydream up a daddy.
And for God's sake,
I got too much dust in my attic, addicted to the magic, the heroes in the static.